Welcome back everybody. Today I'm going to change the oil from my Z3's M52B28 engine, but I was always curious about this method, as in through the dipstick. So you're not gonna believe where I found this 12-volt oil pump. It's from Lidl's and it costs, wait for it, 10 quid. I said to myself there is no way this will work, but decided to give it a go anyway and record my progress. First off, as per any oil change for this generation of engines from BMW, besides the basic stuff, I highly recommend that you get a 36mm socket because the oil filter cap is quite tight in there. On top of that, it's made from plastic, so there is a chance the big adjustable wrenches might slip off, and mine already shows signs of that. A quick side note, if you want a small yet capable toolset that has plenty of the most used sockets on BMWs, I have this one from Baco, the S330. You have the 10, 13, 17 and even the 22 for the crank main bolt and even spark plug sockets. Anyway, then I got this oil since it was on offer, and if the pump experiment fails for any reason, I didn't want to waste an expensive oil. First step is to make sure that the engine is warm, or like I did, from a full operating temperature from a quick drive, and wait like 20 minutes or so before attempting in order to avoid melting the plastic hoses from the vacuum pump. Have a container ready, at least 7 liters in total capacity, to store the old oil as it is pumped out. Now let's have a look at the oil pump. You get two hoses, a thicker and a thinner one. The latter goes into the dipstick, of course. Those are the securing clamps for the hoses. These go on your positive and negative terminals. Then, as you can see, the pump is pretty straightforward. The on and off button has a plastic integrated cover for protection. And finally, these are the two outlets, one input and one output, which is basically the oil getting extracted and then pumped outside. Next, let's remove the old oil filter. Also make sure that your new one comes with a big O-ring that goes onto the oil filter cap. My old one is looking quite good, no extra debris or metal shavings, none of that. Now attach the hoses to the pump and clamp them down. The thinner one once again goes in the dipstick, and it's surprisingly long, while the other just routed downwards to your desired jug bucket. If your battery is not in the engine bay, like mine, find the positive terminal and the negative, which will be marked. Worth mentioning that I did find the clamps from the pump being a bit too small, but with some convincing they grabbed onto the terminals in the end. Well, moment of truth. And as you can see, it works. The flow is steady, and just check that it doesn't overheat. Nowhere near that because it was quite cold that day. Almost there, and I'll be honest, I had low expectations, like maybe I could never extract more than half of the quantity inside the engine, but to my calculations I think I took out at least 90% of the old oil, because when I poured in the new one it took exactly 6.5 liters including the oil filter canister. So to me this sounds like a success. To finish things off, put the dipstick back and let's install the new oil filter. Remove the old O-ring from the cap and then attach the new one, and then finally insert the oil cartridge either way until it pops into place in the cap. Pre-lube the canister, usually I put like a half a liter of oil and then tighten everything back. Recommended torque is 25 Nm. Refill time. I added the big 5-liter jug first and waited 5 minutes, and then checked the dipstick just in case not to overfill if there was plenty of old oil in there. All good, then I continue to pour another half a liter and then the last half a liter until the correct level on the dipstick. The final test is to start it up and check the oil pressure, as in the light indicator needs to shut off after a few seconds after starting the engine. And voila, all set. I did a quick test drive and it runs perfectly. I checked the oil level the next morning and still dead on how I left it in the previous day. So all in all I'm quite happy, and the oil pump actually works. Next I need to change the coolant and then clean my oil filter and see what other videos I can do. Thank you for watching, and let me know who has tried this method in the past. See you soon.